So in the previous session we have calculated the entropy change involved in various processes undergone by an ideal gas system, and as the fourth sub case we concluded that an adiabatic process can be an isentropic process provided the process is happening reversibly. If the process is happening irreversibly, there will be an entropy change even for an adiabatic process. Means delta S will be positive for an adiabatic process which is happening irreversible. In this session we will try to establish that fact in general. So the aim of our session is to prove that the entropy change involved in an irreversible process is always positive, or as a result of irreversible process the entropy will be increasing. So we will try to establish that fact mathematically. So you consider a system and let's say that I and F be the two equilibrium states of the system. So I and F are two equilibrium states of the system. It means that at I as well as F the variables, thermodynamic variables like pressure, volume, temperature, entropy, etc. are well defined. It has got specific values for each of these variables. So let's name it as some Pi, Vi, Ti and Si, because we are including entropy also as a thermodynamic variable, which is also a state variable. We have seen that, and the corresponding values at the state F are some Pf, Vf, Tf and Sf. And we consider a cycle of operation undergone by the system along two paths. So it is going from I to F along some irreversible path. So I have named it as I here. So the path I to F is irreversible, and from F the system comes back to the initial equilibrium state following another path which is reversible in nature. So the difference here is that I to F is irreversible, but F to I, the reverse path, is reversible. So in order to distinguish between the difference in the nature of these two processes, see a different notation is used for the path here. Okay, so that is our particular case now. Now let us just use some mathematical arguments in order to calculate the entropy change during the process. Now you know that entropy is a state function. It means that its value depends only on the initial and final states, or it is independent of the path chosen. Entropy is a state function actually. So in general I can write for any state function the closed integral of that function should be equal to what? 0. That is a specialty of any state function. So let's begin like entropy being a state function, entropy being a state function, what I can write mathematically, I can write that its value depends only on its initial and final positions, right? So we can write that for a closed process ds should be equal to 0. I think that can be clearly understood. Okay, whether the process is happening reversibly or irreversibly, for a closed process the change in entropy should be equal to 0, because at I it will have some value S1 or Si, at F it is having some value Sf. So going from I to F it will be changing Si to Sf, whether it is going by the reversible path or irreversible path. The values at I and F are what? Fixed. Okay, and how it varies from Si to Sf during the path, that depends. Okay, but once it reaches f, it will have a definite value sf there. So delta closed integral of ds is equal to 0. That is universal property for any state function. Okay, so it is applicable for entropy as well. So this is the result. Now let us break up this closed integral into two different integrals. Okay, two path integrals. So what I'm doing is that I'm writing this integral, that is integral from I to f, right? Can you break up into two integrals? This is over the irreversible path. So let me write I here, ds plus integral from f to I, that is over a reversible path. So let me write r here to denote the nature of the path. So that is ds, that's equal to 0, right? Now let me retain the first thing as such, that is integral from I to f over the irreversible path ds, I'm retaining it as such, plus see second one I can replace it as, because for reversible process the change in entropy can be directly measured f to I by the equation d bar q by t. Remember, this is one thing very important. In the case of reversible process, we are definite about what is the value of d bar q, because the process is happening so slowly and all the states through which the system passes is considered to be what? Very near to equilibrium. So all the states are well defined states. So mathematically we have a method to calculate exactly what is the d bar q involved there. That is the reason why wherever you see ds, for reversible process we can replace it by d bar q by t without any worries. Okay, so that is the thing. So that is equal to 0, is equal to 0. We didn't do that for ds for the irreversible process. Here we'll understand, because d bar q in irreversible process cannot be calculated directly. Okay, there are some indirect methods for that, but it is not directly calculated. Okay, that is the thing. So let me call this one as equation number 1, right? Now that this result, equation number 1, we got from the state function nature of the, or exact nature of the entropy function, right? Now let's depend upon the Closius inequality. You know, for irreversible processes, you know, the Closius inequality is applicable for irreversible processes. For irreversible processes, from, we can use Closius inequality, right? From Closius inequality, you know, Closius theorem part is applicable for reversible process, and Closius inequality part is applicable for irreversible processes. So what is the Closius inequality? Hope you remember. That was saying that the closed integral, right? Closed integral over irreversible process, for that d bar q over t is less than 0. And the total mathematical statement was less than or equal to 0. Hope you remember. That was the Closius mathematical statement of second law of thermodynamics. So only less than 0 I am taking, that is Closius inequality as far as we are concerned. So that is there. Remember, this particular equation for closed integral for irreversible process d bar q by t is less than 0. That is something very important. You note it. Okay. Now you consider our cyclic process, I to f via irreversible process and f back to I via reversible process. So this is something like an irreversible process along with a reversible process. So remember, the complete process has got one part which is irreversible. So the net result is that the cyclic process will be irreversible in nature. Always remember, reversible plus irreversible will be always what? Irreversible, because the entire path will have some irreversibility. Okay, so that is one. So the cyclic process that we are considering in our case is as a whole irreversible, because one part of it is what? Irreversible, right? Because there will be some dissipation happening during the entire cycle of process. Okay. Now let's d bar q by t. So we can apply this one. we can apply this particular equation here. Just we are splitting it like this: integral, therefore integral irreversible I to f. I am splitting this one, okay, I to f d bar q over t plus integral over r f to I d bar q over t, that should be less than 0. That is my second equation. Okay, so just understand equation number 1 and 2. Equation number 1 we obtain from the exact nature of entropy, and equation number 2 we obtain from the Closius inequality that is applicable for any irreversible process. Okay, now one is giving you equal to 0 and other is telling you that it is less than 0. Now let's do one thing. Let's subtract equation 2 from equation number 1. Mathematically subtracting equation 2 from equation number 1, right? So what will happen is that when I subtract 2 from 1, you can see this this particular term will be getting cancelled because they are one and the same. These two terms will be getting cancelled. So I'm writing it here. 1 minus 2 gives 1 minus 2 gives what will be getting 1 minus 2. So it will be integral over the irreversible path from I to f ds, okay, then minus integral from I to f itself, that is this term, okay, I to f over the irreversible path itself d bar q over t. Now on the right side, that's a question to be taken care of. So what are you doing? You are okay, will it be equal to 0, less than 0 or greater than 0? What should I put it here? So let's check it. So it is 1 minus 2. Okay, 1 is 0. 1 LHS is 0. Okay, or RHS is 0 means the LHS should be also equal to 0. So 1 is 0 minus, what about 2? 2 is a number, mathematically 2 is less than 0 means 2 is negative. Okay, 2 is a quantity that is less than 0. So what I am doing is that I am subtracting 0, sorry, I am subtracting a negative number, say x, a negative number x I am subtracting from 0. So what will happen? What about this one? The result will be, it will be what? Plus x. Would it be? Right? And that is means you are going to get the result of this one greater than 0. That is something very, very important. Mathematical logic. You are subtracting a negative number from 0. So the answer is going to be a positive number. Is it okay? Right. So this is what you are going to get. So let me rewrite. Let me go to the next slide. So the result is that, can you rewrite it now? That is integral from I to f over irreversible path I ds, change in entropy, that will be greater than, I am taking the other term to the other right side. So it will be over the irreversible path, integral from same I to f, the path is the same, I to f d bar q over t, d bar q over t. Okay, so let me call this is equation number 3. What does it mean? So you can see that equation 3 says the change of entropy during an irreversible process is greater than the integral I to f d bar q by t. That is not? So the change of entropy, LHS is the change of entropy during an irreversible process. Okay, so this equation number 3 says that the change of entropy during an irreversible process is always greater than this integral. It's always greater than this integral, right? And see, what you can do is that for small changes, if the changes are small, then I need not use integration here. This, you know, this integral is used only for a large change. So for small changes, Okay, what I can write, I can rewrite this equation simply as ds. I am avoiding that integral, that's all mathematically what I am doing. ds for irreversible process is greater than what I can write, d bar q over t. I am avoiding the integral, but I am retaining that it is for irreversible process. So if you calculate the quantity d bar q over t for the irreversible process, then that quantity will be less than the entropy change during the irreversible process. Now, don't you remember what was our equation ds? Okay, what was our equation for reversible process in the same thing? So we obtained that is equal to 0. We have obtained that integral d bar q over by or t for reversible process is equal to 0. Okay, now what you can do is that you can just combine the result for reversible process as well as what, irreversible process. So combining in general I can write that ds. Okay, this is the result, equation number 4 I can call. This is the result that we obtained for irreversible process, and we have already proved that for reversible process ds is equal to 0. So ds for reverse process is equal to 0. Already we have established earlier. So now combining equation number 4 with the earlier obtained result, let me call it as 5. What I can write in general is that ds is either greater than or equal to, okay, d bar q over t. This is, like. So this is the general expression that we are going to do. And this integral d bar q over t is equal to 0 for reversible process. So that establishes the change in entropy in an irreversible process. So remember that the change in entropy in an irreversible process is always greater than 0. Okay, so this is the conclusion. Or we can say that ds irreversible is not 0, it is but positive. It implies that irreversible adiabatic process is not isentropic, as we have stated earlier, even though the reversible adiabatic process is isentropic. That way also we can argue. Okay, thank you.